Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out.
Welcome to
Please tell me all the
Stream-A-Mania, Hour 1. If it's your first time here, I'm Tristen Law, semi-retired pro wrestler and your host of the Tristen Law Show. Thank you so much for joining me for this big crazy thing that we're doing. I've been waiting for this all day. I did some pretty cool things today to get ready to set up for Stream-A-Mania. Met some pretty cool people as well too, you know, for Stream-A-Mania. And some pretty cool things are going to be happening here. And I just can't wait to show them to you. Today it's going to be me. I'm going to be here in hour 1. Jess the Yapton, she'll be joining me in hour 2. We'll be talking about the misrepresentation of black women in wrestling. Hour 3, we are going to have a debate. Her, myself, and Cheyenne the Voice Ortiz, we will be talking about the best era in pro wrestling. Hour 4. I'm going to be breaking down, along with Cheyenne Ortiz, what AEW and TNA need to do in order to be a threat, in order to stand next to WWE with some pride. In hour 5 is going to be me and you. And if you haven't called already, 973-826-0101. I got the phone open. I'm going to be playing your messages live on the air. And we're going to be talking together. But let's be honest. Pro wrestling in 2025, it's both the healthiest that it has been, and it's the most confusing that it's ever been. Because we've got success, we've got money, we've got reach, but we also got creative fatigue. You know, made an episode a couple weeks ago talking about they got AI. Now we got ChatGPT booking the pro wrestling. Look, I have a nice little jacket for today. This hour is going to define where pro wrestling stands before all the debates begin. Let's take a look at WWE's dominance under the Netflix era, or whatever the hell they want to call it, this era. And whether it's your first time here, whether you are watching live or on demand, I want to hear from you. Sound off in the chat. People have been sounding off since 3 p.m. Since 3 p.m., people have been in the chat talking. Looking forward to hear what everybody has to say. The Universal says the poll needs a third option, good, bad, or okay. Well, you know what? I'm leaving the third option is the chat. Come into the chat and let everybody know what's going on. But look. Has Triple H restored trust in the WWE? You know, if you ask me, I think we kind of had a toxic relationship with the WWE a couple years ago because Vince McMahon mistreated us. Vince McMahon treated us bad, and no matter what, we still always tune into WWE like schmucks. We'd have them waste our time. But is Triple H restoring the trust? Is Triple H booking the territory well? The way that I'm looking at that question is, in my opinion, I want to hear from you. In my opinion, I think that Triple H, I think he's not doing a bad job. I think that the wrestlers always have the best stories because they know what it's like to be in the ring. Somebody like Vince McMahon, I think that Vince McMahon was kind of out of touch with the whole entire pro wrestling. Not even pro wrestling, it's pop culture. If it didn't happen in the WWE, he doesn't know that it happened. We're able to get a much different style of pro wrestling with Triple H. Yeah, some people agree that Triple H may not be booking the people of color properly. Some people feel that Triple H isn't booking the woman properly. But I feel that the story, the way that they tell stories in the WWE has changed. We get deep stories now. We get engaging stories now. We get stories that are on the same exact level as Game of Thrones, and I ain't never watched Game of Thrones before. Leave me alone. Yeah. We're getting stories that if you blink, you miss something. We weren't getting that with Vince. When I went, you know what? I'll tell you exactly what I did today. I went for a shoot for Fan versus Haters. I'm going to be on Fan versus Haters. That's what I did today. And one of the things that they talked about, we had a conversation amongst ourselves. And one of the things that I said is that Triple H is no longer booking like how Vince used to book month to month. We're not booking PLE to PLE. I feel like we're booking quarter to quarter. We're booking from Royal Rumble, and after Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. After WrestleMania, they're booking us to SummerSlam. After SummerSlam, they're booking us to War Games. And then this rinse and repeat. We are getting a different stage of pro wrestling. Let me ask you what you think. Do you think, evaluate the depth of storytelling. Is it emotionally engaging or is it overly polished? That's what I really want to know from you today. Stu is here and he's dropping his view. Stu, I want to let you know that I checked out your channel. Your channel is very unique. If you guys got a second, go check out what Stu is doing on his YouTube channel. He gives you wrestling reviews and it's really unique. I'm not going to tell you what makes it unique. I want you to go see for yourself. Go check out Stu's view on pro wrestling on YouTube. Stu says that he is booking extremely safe. Okay. That's the issue. Open Raw, the Vision. Close Raw, the Vision. Stand stall. Okay. Thank you so much for your comment. I think what they're doing is that they are, Triple H is every episode of Raw, every episode of SmackDown, maybe kind of NXT, every episode, it feels like a TV show. It's almost like you're watching an episode of Law & Order, right? They take it and they centralize it around one thing, and it keeps you hooked. Instead of giving you the babyface where they, or your favorite person, you have them come out in the first 5 seconds, they cut a promo, and then it goes to the end. No, you have them cut a promo, you maybe see him backstage in the middle, and then you see him in the end to send you off from the show. Okay, is it safe? I think it's more TV style. Thank you so much for your comment. Right now, the question I want to ask, you know what? Going off what Stu said, let me ask everybody else this. Right? Is WWE great right now? Or is WWE the safest option? See, for me, growing up in New York City, in the backyard of the WWE, all I knew was WWE for the longest until my mother's husband brought home WCW cassettes. What is WCW? Until I started staying up late when I should have been asleep, I was watching ECW. I didn't know what these things were. All I knew was WWE. So for me, I don't think that is the safest option right now. I think for my style of wrestling, I love what the hell WWE has done. And even though I was talking before about the toxic relationship that we have with the WWE, I'm talking about the fact that it's in my DNA to tune in and watch WWE. Even when they mistreat me, damn it, I'm going to tune in next week.
Thank you.
Because every single week, especially, you guys remember when we had that, when maybe it was 2018, 2019, when we had talking for the first 15, 20 minutes, half an hour of the show when Shane McMahon was there? And it was like, all right, they're abusing us. Raw was bad. Raw was bad for a long time. The best product that WWE was giving away at the time was NXT. But we still tuned in next week. Why did we tune in next week? I'll tell you why I tuned in next week. Tell me why you tuned in the week after. Tell me why you still continue to watch when WWE is trash. I'll tell you why I still continue to watch. I watch because every single week I hope that one week is better than the last. Don't get it wrong. Even though with Triple H booking right now, every single week is not a home run. No, not at all. Sometimes, man, they strike out real bad at the plate. Real bad. But I tune in next week, hoping that next week is better than last week. That's just what I do. Stu says, Stu's dropping his view. He says that he appreciates it. That's for the love that I was giving him to go check out his channel. He says he agrees with the booking from quarter to quarter, though. He never thought of it like that. Yeah. When I was watching, thank you so much for your comment. When I was watching wrestling, during the Attitude Era, they were just trying to get you from one pay-per-view to the next. Now it's like the reason why we're getting the champions to hold on to the belt so long It's because we're moving throughout the year. It only makes sense for Gunther to hold the belt because they've already booked it for so long. And it makes you more emotionally invested with every single thing that's going on because you're waiting for somebody to finally take that belt off of Cody Rhodes. Will it be Drew McIntyre? Will it be LA Knight? We are waiting. When are we going to get it? Maybe soon? I think that WWE, they're not. I don't think WWE is chasing competition anymore. I think what they're chasing is consistency, and that's both its greatest strength and its biggest flaw. WWE is not even chasing competition anymore because they were able to mention the Bullet Club. What the hell is the Bullet Club? If you don't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling or AEW, you probably don't have a rat's ass of a clue what the Bullet Club is. Am I wrong? Look, WWE is working with TNA, the same exact company that during the weekend of WrestleMania, I believe it was WrestleMania 24, in Orlando, when the Highlanders, to a tag team, the Highlanders went over to TNA in Universal Orlando and watched it. They were shown on camera and they were fired. Now let it be 2025. Those same two guys would be praised for being on TNA television. WWE, they don't even care about competition anymore. You know why? You know why they don't care about competition anymore? I'm going to tell you how it's going to play into the biggest flaw. They don't care about competition because WWE is consistently getting the bag. WWE got more money than Jesus got disciples. Look at what they're charging for tickets. I was talking to a brother today when we were at the shoot for Fan versus Haters, which will be coming out here on YouTube. And he was like, oh, you guys going to Madison Square Garden to go see John Cena at Monday Night Raw? I said, no. I said, I'm not going to that. I can't afford that. I said, with the price that I paid to get into SummerSlam, let me tell you, I'm good. I'm good. I don't think I need to go to a WWE event for a while. Unless it's either free or cheap. And I'm not paying all this money to go sit all the way up in the top. So if I'm going to sit all the way up in the top, I'll just go sit in the UK to go watch it. Mind your business. If you don't know what I'm talking about, mind your business. It's WWE's greatest flaw right now that they are not worried about the competition. They care about the money. Everybody feels like everything's a money grab. Yeah, sure. Everything's expensive right now in America, in the world, right? It's not a political podcast. That's not where I'm going. But everything's just expensive. WWE back in the day used to buy $25 tickets. With inflation now, maybe that $25, maybe $40, $45, maybe $50. But you can't buy a $45, $50 ticket to WWE anymore. If you're buying a $40, $50 ticket to WWE, you're sitting out in the parking lot. It's cheaper for you just to buy it on Netflix, because why the hell not? But WWE sits on top of the mountain, but the real question is, who is still trying to climb it? Let's see what's going on in the chat. Stu says, yeah, we are never going to stop watching wrestling. Bro, I'm not going to stop watching wrestling. Wrestling is as old as television. It's not going anywhere. We've been watching pro wrestling for so long, it's not going anywhere. Pro wrestling is probably, in my opinion, I don't have the facts to back it up, but just pretend. Pro wrestling is probably one of the longest running shows that's been on television. Since the first person plugged in a television, pro wrestling was there. Now it's transitioned to online. I watch wrestling on my iPad, on my TV, on my screens, wherever, on my phone. I don't watch wrestling on my TV. If I'm watching wrestling on my TV, I'm watching on YouTube or somebody's app. Universal says that wrestling is comfort food for the soul. Hey, I'm sorry, I added an extra word. Universal says that wrestling is comfort food. Bro, you ain't lying about that. You're not lying. I think that pro wrestling has been there for me in my best times and my worst times. I love pro wrestling. Pro wrestling always shows up for me. When nothing else shows up for me, pro wrestling shows up. So why do I not show up for it? It makes us feel good. It gives us the ability to escape. There's people like me who don't watch any other sports. I can't tell you nothing about no Marvel. I know that, Superman's over there in DC and Batman is in doing Batman things. But the whole thing that I'm saying is that it's comfort for me. That's what I know. That's my whole YouTube algorithm. Universal says that it will be Drew McIntyre soon to be the champion. Universal says the Bullet Club is non-relevant now. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, Universal. But you know what? It's not a WWE creation. Why does WWE feel the need to discuss a non-WWE creation on their television? Yeah, they're having their wrestlers say it, but we know that they're telling their wrestlers what to say, or at least giving them the bullet points on what to say. You couldn't go out there in WCW 1999 and mention NWO. What? For all that, go to WCW and go work for the NWO. Universal says that WWE has become a premium product. You're right. You're 100% right. I'm going to give you a hand clap for that comment. You're right. WWE is the Disney of sports. WWE is the Disney of sports. If you want to go to a theme park, the first theme park that you're thinking about in your head is Disney World. Yeah, Universal's there. It's close by. Not Universal in the chat. I'm talking about Universal Studios. Yeah, it's close by. But where are you really going to go? You want to go to Disney World. That's where you want to go. If you think pro wrestling, you are thinking WWE. It's premium. I agree. But then again, most sports are premium these days. People are paying top dollars for sports. I think it all started with the Super Bowl. People are buying Super Bowl tickets before they even know who's in the Super Bowl. There's no concern with who's in the Super Bowl. They're just automatically buying them tickets. Same thing like WrestleMania. You are buying WrestleMania tickets. WrestleMania tickets go on sale what? If they're not already on sale now? You don't even know who's in the main event. They showed us a commercial after they teased us with people's feet. They showed us their foot fetish video. They showed us eventually Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes, Triple H, Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns sitting in a room, playing cards, gambling, playing with chips, and people are still going to buy WrestleMania tickets. All you know about WrestleMania is the date and the time. That's all you know. Card always subject to change because you see Brock Lesnar in there, you see Cody Rhodes in there, you see Paul Heyman, you see Triple H, you see Roman Reigns. Card is subject to change. They might not even be in it. So what are you buying the tickets for? Because like Universal said, WWE has become a premium product. Pro wrestling is no longer something that people do in the hillbilly areas. No offense if you're a hillbilly living in a hillbilly area. Pro wrestling is now something for maybe the middle upper class. You can't just take $25 and go watch a wrestling show anymore. Well, I mean, you could. You don't have to go watch an indie show. And I 100% think that you should be watching indie wrestling. Because I'm an indie wrestler, semi-retired wrestler, host of the Tristen Law Show. Go give that money to an independent pro wrestling company. Why the hell not? Indie wrestling right now is still the cheapest option if you are looking to go watch pro wrestling. If you don't want to pay the premium price anymore, go check out your local independent wrestling company. If you ever want to know what independent pro wrestling company you should go check out in your town, let me know your city and state, and I will find a good one for you to go check out. I know a couple here in New York. I know a couple here in New Jersey. I know maybe one or two in PA. There's some good guys right now running good shows at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center or whatever they call it now in Poughkeepsie, New York. Pro wrestling is premium. But it doesn't have to be expensive if you know where to look. Shop for a deal. Universal says that it makes no sense because ratings are at an all-time lows and breaking new lows every week. Is wrestling dying? No. Is wrestling becoming a premium product such as concert, expensive sports tickets, etc., etc.? Yes. I personally don't think, in my personal opinion, I don't believe that ratings even matter anymore. Who cares about a rating? Ratings don't matter. You know what really matters? Your social media reach. Your social media reach is what matters. I'm talking about how many people can you reach on YouTube? And YouTube is barely social media these days. But we're going to put in the social media box. How many people can you reach on TikTok? How many people can you reach on Instagram? That's what matters these days. WWE, I'm getting goosebumps. WWE got rid of the WWE Network. You probably can't even watch it on Peacock, Too Good No More, all the library, because they decided to cut out the middleman. The middleman is gone. If you want to watch classic WWE content, go to WWE Vault here on YouTube. Tell them that I sent you. Go into the comments and say, @Tristen Law Show sent me here. They're cutting out the middleman because there's so much money. Every ad that YouTube sends to, every ad that you get to see, the WWE probably takes home, what, 60% of that or something like that? Whatever the split is between YouTube and the creator. WWE doesn't have to worry about making sure NBC get their cut. YouTube takes their little cut, and all WWE has to do what? Just produce the content that they already got. It's easy here. It's easy. Universal says that. No, let me not skip over it. Stu says WWE wouldn't even do Bullet Club right. I disagree. On the Vince McMahon, yes. Because on the Vince McMahon, and this is blasphemous to any of the church people that I know. But Vince McMahon, in his eyes, in the WWE, he called it WWE Universe for a reason. He called it WWE Universe because he is God in his eyes. And if he doesn't create you, he wants to take the creation that he got from somebody else and make it his own. That's why we got, what is it, the club or the OGs or whatever they call themselves, the original club or whatever AJ Styles was in. Back in the day, Vince McMahon wanted to touch it and make it his own. Behave yourself. When I said Vince McMahon, touch it and make your own. That's not what we're talking about here. What I'm talking about is that now, with Triple H at the helm, he may take it and he may do something with it, and he may shock your socks off. That rhymed. Stu says, there's a few indie shows I've been wanting to go to in Pittsburgh. It's my 2026 list. Listen, Stu, don't wait. Don't wait. There's a real big, important announcement that is coming in hour number 4. In hour number 4, it's going to be a big announcement that is coming. Stu, you want to know about indie wrestling? You want to know where you want to go? You want to meet some indie wrestlers, Stu? You might want to hear what we have to talk about in hour 4. It's going to be me and Cheyenne. We're going to be talking about what TNA and what AEW need to do to probably even get to the level of WWE. But there's going to be a special announcement in that hour. And make sure you come back, keep it locked. But go check out indie wrestling. Stu says, do you think WWE Vault was a better decision than WWE Network? Yes. Yes, 100%. Why? Because WWE no longer has to manage the infrastructure. It's already built. All they have to do is just show up. They've already got the library. They don't have to now maintain an area and worry about making money and charging people and trying to promote the platform for you to go on so that you can even know that it exists. They don't need to do that. You know why? Because you're watching the Tristen Law Show. You're watching Stream-A-Mania on YouTube right now. You probably know what WWE Vault is. If you come around here long enough, you know exactly what the hell WWE Vault is. Universal says neither make money. You might be right. You might be right. WWE though, I watch WWE Vault. I may put some WWE All Vault on before I go to bed, just to see what's happening. And you know, WWE may not be killing it, but they have the library. When somebody just wants to watch a classic video, they're going to show an ad. When you're watching the WWE live stream on WWE Vault, they're collecting money from it from ads. They have WWE, they have WWE Vault, and they have WCW. There's a WCW channel. So WWE may not be making billions of dollars with it, but it's still a lot better than just letting the videos just sit somewhere and it's collecting dust. They showed a video today. It was what, a 30-minute video of John Cena at a rap concert. I never knew John Cena had a rap concert, but I know today. Make sure you guys stop being shy. Don't be shy. I want to hear from you. Fernando's called in. I got somebody from Toronto, Canada called in. I got Orlando called in. I got New Jersey called in. If you have a question, if you have a comment or a hot take, get your voice heard on hour 5 of Stream-A-Mania. 973-826-0101. That is the number. Go ahead and take a second and call. Anything you want to ask, anything you want to say, just keep it PG because my mother's going to be listening. In the 5th hour, it's just going to be me and you. Me and you in the 5th hour of Stream-A-Mania, you are going to be the co-host. You want your voice heard? You want to be immortalized on the internet? You want to be a part of this growing channel? You want to be able to, let me tell you something. You guys need to understand. You guys need to understand how crazy I am and who the hell I am. When I'm telling you guys, this whole entire thing that I'm doing here just started from something in 2020, and the rate that it's going to blow up, you are going to want to say that you were a part of Stream-A-Mania 1. Because Stream-A-Mania might come back next year. Maybe next year I'll do some donations or something like that and donate the money somewhere. I don't know. But you want to be able to say that you were a part of Stream-A-Mania 1. You want that? This is your opportunity. 973-826-0101. If you got a question, you got a comment, or you got a hot take, you got something that you want to talk about, you call that number right now and leave a message. Stu says that he be calling once he gets home. Good, Stu. I'm waiting. I like to hear from my people. Let me go through this chat real quick and get back into the thing. Universal says again, Peacock contract ended. They didn't renew it because they were losing money. I'm sure. The only reason I ever signed up for Peacock was to watch WWE. Imagine how many people were losing money. I mean, imagine how much money Peacock lost now that all the WWE people have fled. Yeah, I can go ahead and watch Tristen Metal, but I'm not going to pay that money for Tristen Metal. I'm going elsewhere. AEW though, they are a rebellion that lost its cause. You know, like AEW's current Crossroads, the product, it feels less focused. It feels less dangerous. Don't get it wrong. They got a lot of blood and guts over there at AEW. They're over there bleeding like stuck pigs over there. But you got the diehards versus the casuals. If you're a casual pro wrestling fan, AEW's not for you. If you're a casual pro wrestling fan, TNA's not for you. If you're a casual pro wrestling fan, WWE is for you. Because whenever I tell everybody goes, oh, hey, you're a pro wrestler? What kind of wrestling? Because they want to see if I do the Kurt Angle style wrestling or if I do the Hulk Hogan wrestling. I say like WWE. Boom, they know exactly what I'm talking about. I had a conversation with one of the cameramen from the show that I did today. And he was telling me that he did not know that Edge, the rated R superstar, became such a big star. He didn't know. He said he stopped wrestling after Hell in a Cell in 1999. I told him, go back and watch. He did some really cool things with John Cena. He's still wrestling today. If you are a diehard fan, diehard, AEW might be for you. TNA might be for you. But if you're a casual, MLW might even be for you. You don't know what the hell MLW is? Major League Wrestling. You might like watching AAA. AAA, CMLL, Ring of Honor. You might like those things. Why might you like those things? Because you just like wrestling. Like me, I love food, in case you couldn't tell. I don't have abs. May never have abs ever again. I'm always down for a good meal. And just like I'm down for a good meal, I'm always down for good wrestling. I don't watch AEW too tough, but I watch AEW to see what the hell is going on. When you look at Tony Khan's booking, I think it's too much talent. There's not enough direction sometimes. Let me give AEW one positive highlight. They're unpredictable. It still makes it exciting when it hits. It's not consistent. Brother BRL Contreras says, I'm gonna call you BBC. Because I'm not gonna call you BBC, because BBC will be brother BKL Contreras. I'm not calling you BBC, I'm calling you BC. He says, they say the only problem between paid subscription from ESPN, it literally costs way too much pricing at $11.99 per month or $120 per year for ESPN Select, and $30 a month to $300 a year for ESPN Unlimited. Let me answer that question for you. Let me help you out, my brother. From one brother to another, let me help you out. I don't get money for this. And I'm telling you this. You need two things. Netflix and NordVPN. Nord, send the check. NordVPN, send the check. Fernando says he disagrees. AEW is just fine. Shots don't need to be taken against AEW to prop up WWE. I agree. I don't think I was taking shots. I'm just talking about what's happening in AEW right now. I've seen people say that they've wanted AEW to go out of business. Why? Why would you want AEW to go out of business? Why would you want people to not have a place to work? Why? How is that even fair to anybody? That you want people to be out of a job? Some people might be watching, some people that say that, they may not be old enough to remember what it was like in the aftermath when WWE, WWF was the only company around. Yo, wrestling was kind of trash. It was kind of trash. Universal says that AEW is not fine overall. The only positive about AEW are the PLEs, which has been profitable thus far. Nothing else in AEW is making money. Not merch, not ads. Let me tell you about AEW. AEW came in as a disruptor. I'm going to talk about that later on in hour 4. When Cheyenne Ortiz and myself, Cheyenne the Voice Ortiz, when we're talking about WWE, what AEW and TNA need to do to prop themselves up against WWE to become more competitive. AEW broke us out of a bad habit. When it came to buying PLEs, what were we used to paying? $9.99? When we used to pay $40 for each PLE, and then we paid $60 for WrestleMania? When they were pay-per-view at the time. And then after that went to the wayside, we got Peacock. And then Peacock went up little by little. WWE is probably looking, hey, look, if people are willing to spend $50 a month to purchase AEW, they're willing to spend $50 a month to the ESPN app and get everything else at the same time. That's my rationale. That's the way I think of it. Let me give you a hot take right now. Hot take moment. AEW doesn't need to be bigger. I think AEW needs to feel smaller again. AEW needs to embody what ECW did, what even Ring of Honor did. It's that grassroots effort. I think that AEW, they bought a pair of pants and the pants is too big and their mindset was let's try to grow into it. Am I wrong? I'm not saying it as a dig to AEW. I feel like they're growing into their pants, that they scaled back going down to smaller arenas. They're not trying to play the big arenas anymore. AEW bought a pair of pants that was too big. Too big. And now they're trying to fit it. But the war for identity isn't just AEW's problem. It's shaping every single level of wrestling. TNA, they're back. I mean, TNA never went anywhere, but some people that are brand new wrestling fans don't even know that TNA existed. Did you know that I used to go to TNA hard body? There was a time that I never used to watch WWE. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna tell no lie. I used to go to, when I lived in Orlando, and Fernando, I know Fernando's from Orlando. I don't know how long you lived in Orlando, Fernando, but I used to go down to the Impact Zone Soundstage 21 in Universal Orlando every single week to go watch TNA Impact. If you find the video of Elix Skipper running on the side of the cage to do the Hurricanrana, you're going to see a 19-year-old me there in a white t-shirt. You're going to see me going TNA. I was front row. TNA was good at one time. TNA was even better than WWE at one time. But then they lost themselves. You know when they lost themselves? When they put their hat when they couldn't reach it. When they bought it, when they decided to buy a bigger pair of pants to see if they could fit in it. When they wanted to compete with the WWE and they brought Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan along with them. Look, I think that's a bad move. Sometimes you just got to stay in your lane. WWE is playing big arenas, and occasionally they want to play into a stadium. At that time, the only stadium shows was WrestleMania. And TNA, you were in arenas and the Impact Zone? Nah, bruh. That wasn't for you. TNA's got some momentum right now. NXT, the gold and black brand was fire.
Thank you.
It was fire. But what happened? Vince McMahon touched it and gave us the tie-dye brand NXT 2.0. Trash. That's when I fell off with NXT. That's when I fell off. NXT, right? But it's evolving. NXT became, it's the training ground, but now it's a standalone brand. NXT could stand on its own. NXT, I remember when NXT was FCW and you could only watch it on public access in Florida. If you didn't live outside of Florida, you didn't know what did they call him? Oh my God, I'm gonna look up the name for you right now. I'm gonna give you guys a name. And I'm promising you, you have no clue who the name was. The name was, where's the name? Lakey. Don't even Google it. Don't Google it. Tell me right now in the chat. Do you know who Lakey is? I'll spell it for you. Don't Google it. Leakee. Who is Lakey? Tell me in the chat, yes or no. I'll give you a second. Let's see. We got a little bit of stuff going on in the chat. Stu agrees with me. BC says, and don't forget AEW doesn't have any storylines. Seriously, I think they're getting better with the storylines. Universal says that they don't have a booking team, just Tony. Sometimes it feels that way, right? But Tony easily, I don't feel like Tony's a booker. I feel like Tony's putting matches together. Universal says many have wanted to book storylines. Tony doesn't want that. He likes booking on the fly. Fernando says, Universal, you're wrong. AEW's in great shape. It's not the PLEs that is good. Universal disagrees. Look, I love it that we respectfully disagree with each other here. BC gives him the big eye roll emoji and says, of course you're not wrong. BC says, me either. Only interested is watching professional wrestling like New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, Ring of Honor, including GCW. Fernando says that TNA was doing excellent back in the day before Dixie decided to sign all the washed-up ex-WWE stars who were getting released. I agree with that. Stu is dropping his view, and he says the black and gold brand worked because they had vets who were already working for 10-plus years. Yup. Vince goofy as hell for ending it. But I'm glad that we got names we have from 2.0, like Braun, Trick, Javon, and Oba. Oba is the one that attacked Jacob Fatu. That is my guess. And look, Stu, when you're watching this, do you have the mask on? If you don't know what the mask is, go check out Stu's channel. Go ahead and give him a subscribe. He needs to go subscribe to the brother. Let's see if anybody knows who the hell the key is. Nobody knows. Nobody said nothing. Fernando says NXT's on the third brand. It's just still developmental. Let's not get it twisted. I disagree. Evolve is more developmental than TNA and NXT. NXT, okay, fine. NXT might be minor leagues, but Evolve is like minor leagues. Y'all don't know who Lakia is. You gonna know Lakia is another name. If you his mom, you're his poppy, you know him as Late Joseph Anoa'i. To some people, to us, we just know him as Roman Reigns. Y'all didn't know who the hell that was, did y'all? This was what it was like watching FCW back in the day. FCW is NXT is FCW on crack. Don't do drugs, kids. Indie wrestling, though, it's resilient. That's where tomorrow's stars are still born. Excuse me. Yeah, they're trying to get football players and stuff like that. But the only reason that they're getting the football players and the basketball players, the tennis players, the volleyball players is because they're coachable. A lot of pro wrestlers, they're not coachable because they learned from somebody who main evented WrestleMania one time. And they might think they know everything. They might not come in there coachable. They might have spent 10 years on the independent circuit, and they have 10 years of bad habits baked into them. It's a lot easier for WWE to take that ball of clay and mold it because it's fresh than to mold that piece of clay that's hard because it's been left out in the air too long. In my early indie experience, let's talk about the resilience of the indies, right? We're talking about the current state of pro wrestling. When I first started wrestling, man, it was intimate, but there's nobody there. Wrestling wasn't really that popular. Wrestling is really popular now, right? Look, when I wrestled in Jersey, there was a pro wrestling event in every single town. I think that we were still facing the backlash. We were still facing the backlash of Vince McMahon getting New Jersey to throw out to no longer treat pro wrestling like it's a legit sport, to treat it like it's sports entertainment. Because of that, people didn't need a license. You didn't need a license to wrestle. You didn't need a license to run the show. There's pro wrestling matches everywhere. But a lot of us, we focused on the storytelling. We focused on the spectacle. One of the things that I learned is that if there's 10 people in the crowd, 100 people in the crowd, or 1,000 people in the crowd, you still give everybody a show. Because it is not those people's fault that only 9 other people showed up. Give them what they came for. Because you know what? They might come tell their friends to come watch. It's the same exact thing like the Tristen Law Show. When I first started doing this, I was talking to myself. I've always been live. Season 3, I was live. Season 4, I was live. I was talking to myself. Now I'm sitting here doing a 5-hour stream. I got people like Stu, who does his wrestling views. I got Universal. I got Fernando. Got Maria. People like Maria. Heel Vega. Cupcake, where you at? I've got people that are calling in right now. I see the calls coming in to 973-826-010 when I see the calls coming in. We all got to start somewhere. If Fernando was the only person watching, it's not Fernando's fault that nobody else watched. It's my fault. But if I come on here and I do a hell of a show and I entertain, you know what? It's 6:45 at night, I can say it. And I entertain the shit out of Fernando, Fernando's going to go tell somebody, yo, you need to go check out this Tristen Law Show guy on YouTube. I don't know him too tough, but what he does, he makes us a part of the show. He makes us feel valued. He reads our comments. He lets us be interactive with the show. And another phone call just came in. Got to be doing something right. Something that I learned from working on the indies. It's what I learned. Take care of the people that are watching and everybody else. And the people that are watching will take care of me. A lot of you guys are going to meet me one day. I'm not going anywhere. God willing, I'm still going to be here. We're going to be doing shows again. Monday's going to be the next show. Got some big news coming up on the Tristen Law Show. A lot of you guys are going to meet me in person. And if you ever see me in person, don't you ever be afraid to come up and say hello, unless I'm eating or if I'm with my kid. Just say, hey, look, I see you with your kid. I see you're eating. I just want to say hello. I'm going to say hello back. You take care of me. I'm going to take care of you. We're all going to be something I learned in the indies. The indies are resilient. Because of that, I learned to be resilient. It reminded us that wrestling doesn't need pyro to matter. But no matter what's happening in the ring, wrestling's biggest shift is in the locker room. It's the audience. Fans and our book stories through hashtags and outrage. Y'all come here, y'all book with me. All the time, y'all book with me. Spoiler, we got spoiler culture. Yo, ain't nothing make me more mad than a spoiler. We don't post spoilers here on the Tristen Law Show. Whenever we do, myself and Jess the Yapton, who's getting ready to join me in the next hour, whenever we do a show together, we always assume that you've already watched. You can't watch our show if you didn't watch the PLE, because we're going to be giving you the spoiler. We're not telling you who wins or loses. That's what makes the Tristen Law Show different. I'm not telling you who won or lost. You know why I'm not telling you who won or lost? Because you don't care. You don't care. You've already watched it already. Why am I going to sit here and tell you, yeah, Roman Reigns won? Why does it matter that Roman Reigns won? You watched it already. We're breaking down the storylines here. We're talking about the current state of pro wrestling right now in Stream-A-Mania Hour 1. Hour 2, Jess is going to be talking about the misrepresentation of black women in wrestling. Hour 3, Cheyenne the Voice Ortiz is going to be joining us. And we're going to be debating the best era in pro wrestling. Is it the golden age? Is it the attitude era? Is it the current era? Is it the PG era? There's 3 different thought processes and people that live through wrestling. We're going to be talking through that. Hour 4, we're going to be talking about myself and Cheyenne Ortiz, just me and him. We're going to be talking about what AEW and TNA needs to do to level up to WWE. In Hour 5, this is going to be me and you. Damn, just got another call. Another call just came in. The calls are coming in. Damn it. You guys believe in me. This is what I learned from being an indie star. Indie wrestler. I don't want to say I'm a star. Indie wrestler. Spoiler culture versus surprise. Can long-term storytelling even survive anymore? WWE got to work pretty hard to keep their own damn secrets these days. They got to work hard to keep these secrets. Tribalism online, WWE versus AEW wars. You don't have to be WWE versus AEW. You don't have to be. What matters most is that we are wrestling fans. What we are speaking is universal. No, I'm not talking about universal in the chat. I'm talking about the language that we love is universal. If I see somebody with a pro wrestling shirt on, yo, automatically I have an emotional connection with that person because I'm looking at the shirt. I'm looking at the shirt. I'm like, yo, bro, I remember that wrestler. Remember one time when everybody was walking around with Bullet Club shirts? They were buying them from Hot Topic. There's no need for us to be tribal. Let's just love wrestling. Look, if you watch AEW and you don't like WWE, that's okay. If you watch WWE and you don't like AEW, that's okay. But I don't think that you should be telling anybody that what they like sucks. It's still wrestling. It's a different style of wrestling. Wrestling is wrestling. Granted, just like Burger King and McDonald's, they both make hamburgers, but they're both different. WWE and AEW both make wrestling, and it's different. Doesn't mean that you should tell somebody else, oh, don't go to McDonald's because their burgers are bad. Burger King has better burgers. If you ask me, even though I like to have them my way at Burger King, they got slamming onion rings. I still like a cheeseburger at McDonald's. Haven't had a cheeseburger in a long time. I don't eat beef. Let's go to the chat real quick. Heel Vegas here. What's going on? Heel Vegas says, Tristen, congratulations on hitting some of your goals. Bro, I'm out here working. I feel like I'm working that corner. Man, I missed some chats. All right, Heel Vegas says, good evening, everyone. God bless. Seeing the users in the chat tonight. Man, you guys are here with me at night tonight. What are you guys doing? Hanging out, watching Stream-A-Mania? Golly. Fernando says, wrestling doesn't need a storyline to be enjoyable. A wrestling match itself tells a story, and it pays attention. And let me try again. Wrestling doesn't always need a storyline to be enjoyable. A wrestling match itself tells a story. Just got to pay attention and be a wrestling fan. I think you're right there a little bit. When you're looking at WWE, WWE's always going to give you a storyline. The reason why they're going to give you a good match is just because they're going to give you a storyline that goes with it. You get the emotional investment. But what makes AEW different is that they're going to give you that match. They're going to give you the match that you always wanted. That's why they were the people that opened up the forbidden door. And WWE just had to follow suit because they were not going to sit around and let AEW carve out a piece of the pie and they're not getting none to eat. That's not what they were willing to do. We used to cry over stories in wrestling. Now we argue over screenshots. Somewhere along the way, emotion became the content. So where does all this leave us leading into the rest of the night? Let's call it what it is. This is pro wrestling's report card. If I think that WWE, if I was going to give WWE a grade, I'm going to give WWE a B+. I think it's strong, it's stable, and hugely predictable. I'm not talking about the price. AEW has chaotic flashes. I'm going to give it a C+. He has chaotic flashes, right? But it's chaotic direction. TNA, I'm going to give it a B. It's small, but it's exciting again. And they're only exciting because they're in the bed with the WWE. The Indies definitely need an A because it's still pure and it's still hungry. I think that wrestling is healthy financially. It's fractured emotionally. Wrestling, it doesn't need saving. It needs feeling again. Golly, it has knocked over everything. Let's go to the chat. Give the chat some more love before we get ready to transition to hour 2. Heel Vegas says that AEW is tremendous in-ring storytelling. They usually make mistakes with their decision. MJF shouldn't have turned face during his world title reign. Jay White should have already been world champion. Bro, MJF just needs to be a heel. He just needs to be a heel. MJF enjoys being a heel. If you see MJF in real life, you don't know what you're getting. Look at that. Another call coming in for Stream-A-Mania. You guys want to be a part of hour 5? Damn it, you're going to be a part of hour 5. As long as your message don't got no like crazy cussing in it, it don't got nothing like racial or sexist or sexual in there, you might hear your voice in hour 5. So make sure you tune in. Tune into hour 5. Because we're getting ready to do some things here on the Tristen Law Show. Let's see. Yes and no. Oh, okay. Yep. BC says facts. Universal says beep. Fernando says, what's up, Heel Vega? Fernando says, I love the suit, Tristan. Brother, I said, you know what? If I'm going to sit here, Stream-A-Mania is a big deal. I made this stream feel like a big deal. Granted, I'm going to be sitting here for 5 hours in front of y'all. I'm not going to go eat dinner. Granted, I eat dinner like at 5 o'clock. But I might go get like a cereal bar. Yes, I'm going to go eat my son's snacks. That's what I'm going to do. But coming up in hour 2, Jess the Captain, she'll be joining me as we're going to talk about the misrepresentation of women in wrestling, black women in wrestling. That is what we're going to be talking about. You guys are going to see some pretty cool things happening here on the Tristen Law Show. Golly, you guys don't even know what's coming up next. Let's take this. And so we're going to turn, and we're going to put this, and we're going to, boom. Hold on, give me a second. There you go, great. So we're getting ready to bring you hour number 2 of the Tristen Law Show. Jess the Captain, she'll be joining us in just a second. This is the Tristen Law Show. This is Stream-A-Mania. Hold on, we'll be right back.